Okay, this is going to be a comprehensive Pinterest strategy that I'm going to teach to you guys in this video. Now, I could have made this like 20 plus separate videos, but I decided to do this as just kind of like an epic tutorial. It's going to be comprehensive. I'm going to cover lots of different things. You can stop this video as you see fit to accomplish the tasks, the things I'm going to be telling you in this particular video. I'm going to mostly just kind of give you text and images so that you can kind of follow along to get your Pinterest set up. The ultimate goal being to utilize Pinterest to help with traffic to your blog. Pinterest is a long-term strategy. I'm going to talk about this more in this epic tutorial. But Pinterest is like YouTube. It's SEO based. So it's going to take days, weeks, and months and consistent effort, just like your blog, to yield results. Okay. So this is the epic tutorial for the simple blog method, utilizing a specific Pinterest strategy. I've taken numerous courses. This is everything I've learned compiled into one. All right. So let's get started. Pinterest will allow you to double, triple, or quadruple your traffic to your blog over time. Okay. This isn't a 1 month thing or 2 month thing. This is being used in tandem with your blog. When you put the effort in, you will see results with this. You can literally go from 500 daily visitors to 1,000 to 5,000 to 10,000 using this strategy all over the course of a year, 2 years, because remember, we're building digital real estate. It's going to take time. But that being said, it is time well spent because it can allow you to earn lots more money with free organic traffic. So how is Pinterest different from other blog traffic tools? You guys may or may not know that social media is used to grow blogs. Most people use Facebook groups, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and those are all amazing tools for boosting your blog traffic. You can easily grow your following and attract new readers to your articles with them. But here's the main thing I want to get across to you guys. Social media platforms are instant. So when you post something on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, you'll see the visitors flock to your blog immediately. But if you do not post frequently, you'll see your traffic die off, right? It's that instant gratification. We all like that instant gratification of a TikTok that starts to take off. But once it reaches kind of like it flatlines, you'll stop seeing results from that particular post. So you got to post over and over and over again. Those of you who use TikTok know you have to post literally 2, 3, 4, 5 times per day to keep that consistent flow of views and profile visits and link clicks. Pinterest is different from all of those platforms. You won't see results right away. When you pin your content, you can expect an instant flood of traffic to your blog, no matter how many followers you have. Therefore, you need a solid Pinterest strategy to achieve the results you're looking for. So let's look at a few key points to keep in mind about Pinterest. Number 1, Pinterest is a search engine. You've heard me say this in previous lessons in this course, but Pinterest isn't a social media platform. I know, it's not a social media platform. Think about what social media platforms are used for. They're not there. Pinterest hasn't been created to chit chat or comment on others' outfits or cupcakes, right? Instead, people use Pinterest to find inspiration, information, ideas. Thus, they are searching for content. And while it's easier to interact with others on Pinterest than on Google, Pinterest is still a search engine. Therefore, you got to treat it like a search engine. You have to learn how to use keywords. This is something that most beginner bloggers, and including myself, I didn't understand. You think you need to spend more time on the platform interacting with others. Yes, they have idea pins now. It's something new that they've introduced in the last year. It allows for a comment section. But that being said, video, it does work great, but the images work just as well. All right. And when you don't see the results that you're looking for, don't give up. Most people give up. Don't be that blogger. Have that long-term mindset already in that you're going to post a certain amount of pins, per week or per month, and that you're going to do this for a long period of time, months into years. All right. So what does this mean for you? So to build a solid Pinterest strategy, you need to think of it of like a search engine. And we're going to come back to this in a little bit. Number 2, pins have a long lifespan. If you're using Instagram, Twitter to grow your blog traffic, you guys know how important it is. I just talked about this, to post frequently. Your posts and tweets have a super short lifespan, so you need to publish something new daily. Your readers are going to scroll through fresh content every single day. Most often on these particular, like Instagram or maybe TikTok and definitely Twitter, they're only around for minutes and or just a couple days tops. So this doesn't happen on these where an old post from 6 months ago just starts to take off, right? You guys don't create a TikTok or an Instagram post and 6 months later, it gets a flood of traffic. It doesn't work like that, but Pinterest works differently. It works like that. Every pin you share gets shared and reshared over and over again over a long period of time. So I've seen some of my own pins from like a year and a half, 2 years ago that still generate traffic and link clicks to my particular offers that I put out, and my blog pages. For example, here's a screenshot from my Pinterest analytics where I see my top pins. These are all pins that I created years ago, and so my most clicked stuff is pins that are getting clicked because people are sharing them and resharing them, and people keep repinning to their boards and other people are clicking on them, right? So it kind of has that virality just over a long period of time. So once in place, a legitimate Pinterest strategy will yield long-term results. So you'll save heaps and heaps of time and money knowing that your pins can generate traffic for years to come. Number 3, Pinterest traffic ramps up. So speaking of long lifespans, here's another awesome benefit of pinning. When you get your Pinterest strategy on point, following all of these steps that I'm telling you, you will see your long-term results ramp up. You're going to have to pin. I'm not talking about 5 pins or 10 pins or 100 pins. This is going to be a long-term game, a long-term play. We're talking about hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pins. Okay. So with that said, don't get nervous. Don't feel overwhelmed. You're going to accomplish this, one day, 1 week, 1 month at a time. And, don't doubt your pinning strategy. If you don't see big results right away, remember we're playing the long game. So just stick with it, invest time, do it right, and Pinterest, the right Pinterest strategy will pay off. Okay. So let's really get down to business. Before we start, this is what you're going to need. And obviously they're kind of obvious. You're going to want to make sure you have a website. And if you're at this point in this particular course, you've already got your website up and running, and you're looking for more traffic. Okay. The second thing is think about your readers, figure out exactly who your blog target audience is. And this will help you find the same audience to target on Pinterest, right? Makes sense. And third, follow a clear pattern for writing the perfect blog post every time you publish new content. This will help you, right? I talked about this earlier in the course. You want to write just the right blog post targeting a specific keyword. This is going to help you save a bunch of time when you're creating your pins. So with that out of the way, let's start our Pinterest blog traffic strategy. So number 1, we're going to want to set up a Pinterest business account. If you haven't already, it's super simple. You go to sign up for a Pinterest business account. You should already have your Gmail, not your Gmail account. What you want to do is use your business email and use that to create your business account on Pinterest. Okay. enter your email address in, choose a password. It'll have you enter your age in. When you're finished, click the red button to create account. Next, you'll go through a few steps where you'll give Pinterest some more details about your blog. You'll want to pick your language and country, your business name. You'll want to add the website link to your blog. So this is simply just your blog URL. Then you'll connect other accounts to connect your other accounts to Pinterest. This helps Pinterest at what's called attribution or attribute pins from your Instagram, Etsy, if you have it, or a YouTube account. You can link other accounts to your Pinterest page. Set your advertising preference. Pinterest is going to want to know whether you'd be interested in running ads on their platform at some point. I usually just check yes, because after your blog is up and running and you're earning commissions, you may want to turbocharge your Pinterest and that traffic, and you can start using some of your commissions to pay for ads. So just check the box that you'd be interested in the future in running ads. Next, you'll want to choose a few topics of interest. Obviously, you want them to be relevant to your blog that you're creating. And lastly, install the Pinterest browser button. So choose whether you'd like to add a Pinterest pinning button to your web browser. If you're not sure about this, you guys can Google search this or just skip this step. You can always install it later. It's not that big of a deal. So now that you have a Pinterest business account set up, right? Super simple. Let's move on. What you'll need to do is you'll need to convert an existing Pinterest account into a business account. Okay. So if you have a personal account and you want to convert it over, it's super simple. You'll log into your personal Pinterest account, head over to, I think it's pinterest.com/business/convert. And then you'll just put in your blog name, your website URL, and then you'll finish by clicking create account. Super simple, not very difficult. Again, if you have a personal account, so you're not starting from scratch, that's how you would do it. The second thing is you'll want to claim your business account website. When I'm at the filming of this video, you may or may not have access in the Wizard platform. We are 1 to 2 weeks away within the Wizard platform from being able to enter in tags so that you can claim your Pinterest account on your you'll want to claim your website address that you're the owner with Pinterest. And to do this, all you have to do is enter a code that they're going to give you into the header portion of your website. Again, we're 1 to 2 weeks out. We're at the end of January as of the filming of this video. If you do not see this, just reach out to support at Wizard and find out how soon they're going to be implementing the ability to claim a Pinterest business account using your URL. Okay. But if you already see that step in your marketing tab on Wizard, you should be able to just add in the code from Pinterest into there. And I'll probably make a subsequent video after this one once that feature comes out for Wizard. Okay. So let's carry on. So we'll talk about real quickly how to claim your website. Head over to your account settings. You'll find them in the menu in the top right corner of Pinterest. So click this button, settings. Then you'll want to navigate to claim and enter your website URL in this particular field. All right. Super simple. Enter in your website, click claim. When you choose a claim option, you're going to want to add HTML tag. You'll want to paste this tag into the section in Wizard when we have the opportunity here in the next couple weeks. Super simple. You'll click add to HTML tag, click the next button, and they'll give you the actual code to install into the header tag of your Wizard blog. Then once you've added that tag, you'll want to submit your blog for review. It usually takes within 24 hours. You'll be notified once your blog has been claimed. Okay, number 3, we're going to update our Pinterest profile. Okay, now that we have our business account is all set up, it's now time to update your Pinterest profile. Setting up your profile helps users find you better when they do a quick search with keywords related to your blog niche. So using the right Pinterest keywords will help the search engine show your content to the right users, which means more blog traffic for you. Head over to settings in the right. It's the right corner, upper corner of your on the website. Go to Pinterest Home and then Settings. In the settings, head over to Edit Profile. Here, you'll want to update your profile display name. Then add a short description of your business. You can just use 1 to 2 keywords relevant to your niche in both your name and description if you want. This can help a lot with your SEO, which I'll come back to a little bit later in this. So for example, if you're a blogger and you want to teach people how to blog, you'll want to have something like how to start a blog and blogging tips, or blog traffic techniques, or blog traffic techniques and monetization methods. So you'll have your display name and description include the keywords for each topic. Very, very important. Have your display name and your description include keywords for your niche, right? So when you're done, remember to save your changes. Next, you're going to want to set up your first Pinterest boards. Pinterest boards, all they are is a collection of content that you save on your Pinterest business page. You'll use these boards to organize all of your pins that you save to your profile in logical categories. To get started with your Pinterest strategy, create at least 5 to 10 boards right now. So if you need to, stop this video right now. Think of all the different keywords and or niches, maybe sub-niches inside of the niche that you're going after, and create 5 to 10 separate boards. And some things, to find ideas for your Pinterest boards. What's your blog niche? What types of posts do you write? How do you help your readers with your articles? What is your target audience looking for on Pinterest? Right? Start thinking kind of outside the box, and you can start creating all of these different boards to be able to place these pins onto. You can always add more boards easily by opening the Saved tab on your profile. There, you can click on the plus icon and choose Board. When naming your boards, obviously, once again, we want to use relevant keywords inside of our niche. This is really, really important for making sure people can actually find your pins later. You must use keywords for your board titles that your target audience is looking for. I'm going to say that again. You must use keywords for your board titles that your target audience is searching for. Okay? Stop the video if you need to. Make sure you implement keywords. You'll want to find the right Pinterest keywords. So a short recap, I talked about this in a previous video, but remember, when you start pinning content to your boards, Pinterest starts to draw conclusions about your interest. It starts expanding on what you've pinned and whose pins they are and how you found them. And since Pinterest is a search engine and only has one goal, Pinterest wants to show you the best possible, most relevant search results on their platform. After all, you guys already know, it wants you to find what you're looking for. Like any SEO, Google does this, right? They want you to find what you're looking for so that you keep using their particular platform. So Pinterest does the exact same thing. So Pinterest is constantly trying to find new, fresh content they think you might want to see. So when you start pinning, Pinterest will have to figure out who to show your pins to. So look at your home feed, for example. It's a collection of pins that Pinterest thinks you'd like to see. So for every board on your profile, you can find related content under more ideas. So what does this have to do with your Pinterest strategy, and why are keywords so damn important on Pinterest? When you publish a new pin, Pinterest needs to figure out just a couple things. Who should see this pin? When should it appear in search? And when should it appear in related pins? Of course, we don't know exactly how their algorithm works. Literally, I don't know the exact amount, but it probably changes multiple times per year, just like Google's search algorithm changes every year. Instagram changes, TikTok algorithm changes, but all you should be aware of is what happens in the background when you pin your blog post. You want to help Pinterest understand what your pin is about, and that's where keywords step into the game. We're talking about SEO again. This whole course has been really focused around keywords. Keywords are the only way for Pinterest to figure out when and where to display your pins. So how do we find the best Pinterest keywords? To get started with your Pinterest keyword strategy, there's no need to overcomplicate things. Let's use the Pinterest search bar at the top of your screen. Type in the word Pinterest marketing. In this image, you can see how the tool automatically suggests related, more specific keywords for your search. These are valuable Pinterest keywords that can help you find more targeted, long-tail search phrases people use to find interesting content that they're looking for on the platform. Okay? So Pinterest keyword traffic, I don't want to make this difficult. All you have to do is write down your keywords and group them into sensible categories. Use a Google Sheet, use a Google Docs or something. Just keep a running log of the particular keywords that people are searching for. All right. So now that we have done this, we need to use our keywords in the right way. So number 6, broadly speaking, you got to use keywords pretty much everywhere on Pinterest. You got to use it in your bio, for your pins, for your idea, your video pins. You got to use keywords everywhere, your descriptions, but you got to have a clear strategy around them. If you're just spamming your keywords everywhere, Pinterest strategy will be all over the place and nothing's going to work. I know this because that's what I did initially before I took some courses and things like this. Text overlay. So Pinterest can actually read the text that you put on your pin images. So you guys are all affiliate bloggers now. This is the best way to let your audience know what your pin and your blog post are about. Adding text overlays to your pins is super easy with free tools. I showed you guys like Canva. You have some accessibility through the free account. Somewhere around this video, you can actually set up your Canva account just if you haven't set it up earlier in this course. I recommend getting Canva Pro. It's like $10 or $12 a month. It gives you access to literally thousands more examples for pins, and I'll show you kind of more on this later in this video. Next, we're going to want to pin titles and descriptions. Use relevant keywords in your pin titles and descriptions. Don't overdo it. Don't stuff a dozen keywords into every description. Just use like 1 or 2, right? The ones that are most likely to attract the readers who need to read your specific blog post. Don't keyword stuff, all right? Board titles and descriptions. Again, no need to keyword stuff your board descriptions. Make sure you fill them out specific to the keyword that the niche or the sub niche for that particular board. And the blog post, super important. Pinterest looks at the website. Again, Pinterest will look at the website you link from your pin. Use the keywords from your blog articles to create your pins. Use your Pinterest keywords in a natural way. Don't spam your pin descriptions with them. Nobody wants to read keyword stuff descriptions. Be specific about what your pins are about. For example, if you post a vegan chocolate cake recipe, don't get sidetracked and start pinning about, or start using keywords like kitchen or cooking. Instead, only use that closely related keyword that you found in that previous step, right? You're going to want to use that keyword, vegan chocolate cake recipe. Okay. So the 7th thing is create images that generate clicks. So we got to create idea pins, short video. If you want to use video, you don't have to, or just general infographics. You want to use pins that generate traffic to your website. Whether you want page views, email signups, comments from people, getting them to click your pin is your primary. It is your only goal, is for them to click on your pin, read your description, and see your website linked in there and go over to your blog article. Everybody is going to want to create a viral pin that generates thousands of clicks. There are literally probably millions of pins that are going up in thousands of different niches on Pinterest. Everybody wants that viral pin. Okay. So you have to do your best in testing different designs to see what does the best. So even if you're not a designer, Canva is the number one place that everybody goes to create awesome, beautiful pins because it's free. They have a free portion of their platform. It allows you, some flexibility to use their free account for a month or 2 months. And then, when you're ready, you can step it up to pro and get access to the rest of their templates, fonts, and things like that. So what about your pin design? What does the perfect pin image look like? I can't tell you based on your niche, but how you design your pin matters in generating clicks. So you got to think about your audience. Who are they? What are they looking for on Pinterest? Okay. Keep that in mind when it comes to your images. Think about what colors they may like. Think about whether they like light or dark images. These are all things that you can test. You can post a bunch of pins that have dark backgrounds and light colored and see how those do. And then you can do light backgrounds with dark colors. Okay. So for example, I have used a lot of bright colors on dark backgrounds, and that's worked pretty well for me. This example is for a pin from a Pinterest strategist that I follow and I've bought a course through. He runs a blog that talks about coding. Okay. So take this pin for example. Obviously, you would think that this pin it's not that extravagant. It's not crazy, but it does the job, right? It got him 2,300 clicks to a single blog post in 1 month. So obviously, keeping it super simple works. So what you'll need to do is create 30 to 50 pins that look just kind of like this. When you find a winning pin, make it look very similar, only have different backgrounds, have different, text overlays, but always, always, always have some type of text that tell the story of your blog post, right? It's got to capture people's attention with a benefit-driven text overlay. Why should they read your blog post? Then you should add your logo. Branding. We've got to brand our blog and brand our Pinterest page. Branding gives you an element that kind of gives your pins a cohesive touch. Keep it subtle and to the point, whether it's in the top, the bottom, or the middle. Use the right size. Think vertical. The best ratio is 2, I think it's 2:3, 2:3. But again, vertical images are given, the templates are given for you in Canva, so you won't really mess this up. And obviously you should look for visually compelling images or background images. There's tons of places to get free stock photos. Unsplash, Pexels, Pixabay. Those are all great places to get those images. So how to find ideas for your first pins? Keep it simple. Do some research, invest some time into how you should design your pins. The best way is to use inspiration from other Pinterest pages that are similar to yours, right? Just do a quick search of relevant keywords in your niche. See what type of pins you see. Notice any patterns, colors, fonts, images, and then just duplicate. You don't have to plagiarize and copy what they're doing, but find inspiration and make it your own using, different templates from Canva. If you need help, templates help to save tons of time. It does take time to create beautiful Pinterest graphics that wow people and make them want to click. We don't all have that kind of time. So it's important to come up with new ideas for creating click-worthy pins. Here is a shortcut I will tell you guys to create dozens, if not hundreds of beautiful pin images quickly. You can go to Canva or go to Fiverr. I think maybe even Upwork. You can go to these different websites and you can get, all of these different templates that you can make your own as a bundle. You can get, maybe 2 dozen or 3 dozen or 100. It depends on what your budget is. And you can get these and they'll import directly into Canva where you can make them your own and put your own websites in there, you can change up the font if you want, you can change the backgrounds, but the templates are there for you to save time. Okay. There are hundreds of people out there who do this every single day for busy bloggers like us, right? We're focused on creating content and posting blog articles. If you don't want to spend a lot of time, you can pay somebody to create these packages of templates for you. Huge, huge, huge time saver. Okay. Again, if you want to just figure this out on your own and you want to create your own, you can absolutely do that and buy cheaper templates. And then you can go behind and do all of the editing, or you can actually pay somebody to make you actual specific pins. Like you could say, I need you to make me a pin about, green smoothies. I need you to make me a pin about different summer accessories for a collection for an affiliate that, that you're an affiliate for, or right. So you can get specific to customize pins, but again, that's probably going to cost more money than just doing straight templates. All right. So next, you'll want to write benefit-driven pin descriptions. In your description, you're going to want to use clear, actionable wording in your pin text overlays. Okay. Super important. Actionable wording in your pin text overlays. You will get results if you do this and include keywords in there. So to find the highest converting actionable wording for your pin, think about what your audience wants to see. What are they really looking for? Why are they on Pinterest looking for answers? What are they struggling with? What are their pain points? What questions are they asking? Okay? Figure those out and solve those, and you'll get more impressions, views, and clicks. You got to appeal to their feelings to attract their attention first. If they're desperate to save time on something, use like power words like quick, easy, fast, simple, smart, right? Those are all like action words, right? That want to, that people need to write there or save time on something, right? You're trying to solve their problem. Include a solid call to action in the pin description. If you can, write it at the top of your description to catch your followers' attention right away, right? You can ask them a question and then say, here, make sure you visit our website to find, 5 quick ways to create, amazing tasting smoothies. Okay. I'm just trying to give you guys examples and ideas. All that really matters is that your pin description needs to make people want to click. Okay. 9, pin your own content. So when you start creating your first pins, you're probably asking, should I share other people's pins too? How often? How many? You've probably heard about the 80-20 rule. If you haven't for Pinterest, that's what people try to push. But to be honest with you, in the couple courses that I've taken, they really say it doesn't matter. There is no one-size-fits-all approach when it comes to Pinterest marketing. It's about test. Marketing is about testing, okay? Every Pinterest strategy is unique. I'm teaching you guys what's going to work for you. But again, it's not the end-all be-all. It's the strategy that's working for me. So you guys should follow all of the information that I'm telling to you guys within this video. I know this video is more of like an epic tutorial. We're probably about 30 to 35 minutes in. I take a deep breath. If you got to, pause this video, walk away, and then come back, and we're going to continue through the rest of this content. All right. So if you're still sitting with me, or if you've paused and you've came back, let's power through the rest of this Pinterest strategy. So why you should pin your own content first. So when you claim your website, Pinterest knows it's your website, and Pinterest loves active bloggers who publish and share fresh content. So your first priority should be to write new posts and share them on Pinterest. So write a new post and then maybe do 5 to 10 pins that are pointing back to your blog post. Okay. So fresh blog post, 5 to 10 pins, different images, different graphics, all relevant, all keyword related, pointing back to your website. If you're not creating enough content, you can share other bloggers' content. Pinterest just wants to see that you're active and consistent. Consistency with any social media platform and or SEO based platform, Google's want to make sure they're going to want to see that you're posting relevant and new content to your blog. Pinterest is the exact same thing. They're going to want to make sure, you're posting frequently, you're pinning to your board every single day. I'm going to tell you guys right now, if you only post once or twice per week, it's going to take a lot longer to get traffic and to get your pins to get impressions and clicks. You have to post pins every single day. That's why it does help to reach out to, on Fiverr and somewhere where you can get a bunch of templates to kind of speed up this process, to have maybe either people do the work for you, or, you can shortcut your template strategy to where you can start pinning 2, 3, 4 pins per day. All right. So number 10, let's create multiple pins for your post. So this is my favorite Pinterest strategy tip. If you can't write a new blog post right every day or every week, which is extremely difficult, it's okay to create new fresh pins for your old blog post. You could return 2-3 months later and create 3 to 5 new fresh pins or 10 new fresh pins pointing back to that old blog post, right? So especially if you have evergreen content that you're making on your blog, which means it's content that's going to be relevant for months and years into the future. You can easily drive traffic to your articles by designing and publishing new pins for them. There is nothing wrong with creating lots of different pin images for a single post. So how many pins? Let's kind of circle back. How many pins should you create for each post? There's no straightforward answer to this, really. You got to experiment. You're going to have to, I've done the 2 to 3 pins designs for each article I publish. I'm not overdoing it. I'm not underdoing it. And this allows me to see what type of designs are going to post better, right? 3 completely separate pin designs for the given topic that I'm writing about. Okay. So if they take off well, I create 1 to 2 more pins, very, very similar, about 1 to 2 weeks later. And if they take off again, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. You don't need to create, a dozen pins or 20 pins for every blog post you publish. Just start with, 2 to 3 pins, do some testing, see what resonates the best with your audience, create more of the same. Okay. Just give your audience more of what they want and what they like. So here's a tip. To find out which pins perform best for you, track them in your Pinterest analytics. When you set up your business account, they automatically give you Pinterest analytics. So we're going to come back to this in a minute, but that's a major tip. You should be in your analytics every day, if not every couple days. So which pins or what posts should you pin often? I personally monitor my Pinterest traffic through Google Analytics every single week. If you're not doing this, you're missing out on great traffic potential. Okay. So what I do is I start by looking at my top performing posts in terms of Pinterest traffic. You'll find these numbers in Google Analytics under acquisition, social, landing. Okay. There, you'll add a secondary dimension to the interface under more dimensions, social networks. And here's an image of, I pulled off the web, being able to sort and see all of your top performing articles sorted by the traffic volume via the social networks is super, super powerful. Okay. Data analytics will help drive the growth of your blog. So most of your social traffic in the long term will come from Pinterest. 6 months and a year later, if you follow this strategy, you guys will see the majority of your traffic from social traffic from Pinterest. Okay. And if you have a lot of traffic from other networks like Facebook or Twitter, you'll also see them listed in this same list. But I guarantee you the majority of it is going to come from Pinterest because of what I talked about earlier in this training. So when should you create new pins for an old post? Whenever you see a downward trend in your blog post, okay, start to create. You'll see this in your Google Search Console, but you'll see this in your analytics. So for a particular page, your blog page, if you start to see a down right in red where you're getting less traffic, just create a couple more new pins for it. Start pinning them, starting with the most relevant boards. You will see a traffic increase in a couple of days or a couple of weeks. The bottom line is you got to analyze which pins perform best. Head over to your Pinterest analytics, see what pins are getting the most clicks and saves. Then find out why they're taking off so well. Is it the image? Is it the catchy title, the combination, description? Figure out what it can be. Just do your testing and look at the data that's given to you. So how different should your new pin be? I wouldn't come up with a completely different new pin for your old post. Just don't take the old pin, change a minor element in it, and think that that's a new pin, because Pinterest wants to see fresh content. Would you consider it fresh if you just switched out a couple words or a background image? Okay, just think outside the box here. Think about what your audience wants to see, maybe for other relevant blog posts and pins that did well for that. Maybe you can take something similar to that and duplicate it, right? You can duplicate winning pins for different keywords and things that you're going about. Okay, the most important thing to come up with is a new pin description for every new pin you post. Again, include your top performing, most relevant keywords to help Pinterest show your pin to the right audience. Number 11, share, and we're getting to the end here. I know, again, this is a super long lesson. I could have broke this up into 20 plus videos, but this particular course isn't meant to be a full Pinterest strategy. In the future, I may add a couple links to some Pinterest courses and trainings that I've taken that I've gotten a lot of benefit out of, and you guys can check them out on your own time. So if you don't see anything linked down below, at some point I will link a Pinterest course that I recommend that I have personally taken. Okay, so let's finish this training up. Let's get back to sharing new posts on Pinterest. There is no better gratification than seeing your blog articles get traffic right after hitting the publish button, right? So you start to develop a following on Pinterest, and you post 2 or 3 pins, over the course of 1 to 2, 24 to 48 hours, and you start getting traffic right away. So that is the ultimate goal, is when your Pinterest page builds authority and you start building an audience of followers in the thousands. As soon as you go to pin new pages, pin new posts, they'll get pushed to those people's to the top of their recommended, which is great, right? So you'll start developing a diehard followers, raving fans of your blog. You can use your Pinterest strategy to drive traffic to your newest blog post almost instantly. So 1 to 2 pins, embed them into your blog post. When you start developing a strategy and you start developing an audience, you not only pin a post to your Pinterest page, but you can take that pin and actually place it onto your blog post. Okay? So make sure you add those social sharing buttons that I talked about. It's super simple. You can do this. Again, people have used what's called the social warfare plugin for their blogs. We don't have blogs particularly for the Wizard platform. You'll want to add the HTML code. That is coming. If you don't see that as an option for your Wizard blog, again, at the filming of this course, they are working for all of these native add-ons, like these native plugins for the Wizard platform. And just ask the question in the suggestion in your Wizard help in the lower right-hand corner. You should be able to ask them, hey, I don't see the ability to add in a Pinterest pin onto my blog page. Are you guys working on it? How long is it out, far out from being able to do this? Again, this is all things that are in the work for Wizard. Is a brand new, amazing platform. As you guys can see, it simplifies the affiliate blog building a web page that you can do in hours instead of taking months and weeks to try and figure everything out. That's why Wizard are so amazing. So just hang in there. If you don't see it yet, it is coming for 2022. It's going to be amazing. So number 12, you want to save to the most relevant board first. So if it's the first time you save your pin, you'll want to save it to the right board. Okay. It's going to set the tone for your pin and your blog post for a super long time. Pinterest will use this information to understand what your blog post is about. Again, they're going to decide how to distribute your pin to others, people, based on your first board that you use. So what should you do exactly? There's no science behind this, but again, which board has the best title and description to fit that piece of content, and what other content is related for this new pin? I've seen the best results when I've pooled related pins in a relevant board. That's where I pin that new piece of content first. All right. So number 13, pin to other relevant boards at intervals. Okay. Pin to other relevant boards at intervals. When you create a new pin, you don't want to post it to dozens of boards, right? Post it to a relevant board in intervals. It's going to look spammy to Pinterest and your followers if you just, spam it everywhere. You want to keep sharing that fresh pin constantly. Pin it to all of your relevant boards one by one. What I've seen what's worked best of every 2 weeks to 3 weeks, posting the same pin between relevant boards. That way Pinterest has some time to figure out what the pin is about. Again, Pinterest ranking algorithms have, they're going to need time to see how many of your followers are reacting to that pin, and then, they'll push it accordingly. And the last thing, there are tools out there. Tailwind is a forever free. They have a forever free plan. So you can try it with zero risk. I use Tailwind. It's super simple to use. They have tons of tutorials. I'm not going to cover the tutorial within this video because we're already, closing in on an hour here. I told you it was going to be an epic tutorial, but I want to cover everything in one video if you're looking at using a Pinterest strategy. So what happens is when you share a new pin within the Tailwind platform, you can select the boards that you want to pin it to. Then you can click the interval button to set like a pinning strategy with some space in between your pins. So you can set like, hey, I want you to post this pin in this board, and then on this board 2 weeks later, and then on this board 2 weeks later, and then on this board 2 weeks later. It allows you to set up like a pinning strategy, which is really, really, it's automation. It's amazing. And it will help you automate boosting your performance with Pinterest analytics. Okay. So when you head over to Pinterest analytics, you'll find it in the top left under analytics. You'll find a ton of valuable information there. Although the interface may feel completely overwhelming at first, don't worry, take your time. We're going to be in this platform, right? If you're using Pinterest as a strategy for months and years, you'll end up figuring out how to get around step by step just by using it. So the best way to figure it out is by clicking around, seeing how everything works. After a while, you'll feel more comfortable. The first place I would start is which pins to your blog are people clicking on, and which pins to other blogs are people clicking on. Next, you want to automate your pinning as soon as possible. So if you're wearing a bunch of different hats, like probably most of you are, you're doing a lot of the legwork on your own when starting your own affiliate blog. You should brainstorm blog post ideas, write your articles, share them on social media, work on your SEO, manage your email marketing. You're doing this all at the same time, right? If you're doing this training right now, you're in that mode where you're doing all of these different things. You're going to want to hand off some of the work. You can get a VA to do this. You can use Upwork. You can use Fiverr. You can go out and find like the Philippines. You can hire, for cheaper. You can go out and hire somebody from the Philippines to do a lot of the automation for you. So say you want to spend, So if you wanted to, and you started to scale up your Pinterest strategy, and you wanted to pin 15 to 30 times per day, you'd have to have obviously 10 to 20 pins of your own to share. So we're talking about getting serious here. We're 6 months in, we're 9 months in, we're starting to get traffic. Your Pinterest page is growing. You want to pin and you're wanting to get exponential with this strategy. You could easily pin up to 10,000 pins in just 1 year. You'd need, right? You don't have enough time in the day to do all of these things. You'd need like 100 hours per year to devote to just pinning. Prioritize your tasks. Find a VA. Use Tailwind to schedule your pins, right? There's Pinterest scheduler tools outside of Tailwind, but create a pinning strategy, fill your pinning queue, set it and forget it. Add, you can do this by Tailwind, getting a VA, and then having a separate person create the pins And I know I'm kind of going down a rabbit hole here, but there are ways of automating everything. Everything with your blog, there's automation. Your Pinterest strategy, there's automation. You can hire people out to do all of the work for you. You can have a VA be your representative inside of Tailwind, okay? And then you can have somebody out there who's just creating the pins for you based on your keywords. So you have two separate people that are doing all of this work for you, and it's scaling your blog up, and it's allowing you to rank your blog pages because you're getting floods of traffic to your blog articles. Okay, you guys can all see how this kind of compounds on itself. Tailwind is a great, amazing free place to start. I recommend starting there, and then along the way in a couple months, start bringing on a VA. Tailwind has so much to offer than what I can cover in this training. Therefore, download they have a Chrome extension and sign up to their platform. It's 100% for free, and you can start using it and see how you like it. Let me know how it goes inside the Facebook group. Okay. So if you're using another Pinterest scheduler, let me know what works, and maybe I can cover it as an add-on to this particular course. Okay. So here's some final thoughts. I'm sorry. I'm apologizing again. I know this is super long. I could have made this 20 videos, in an hour and a half's worth of training, but I'm doing it all in one video. It's a super massive video. I appreciate you guys for hanging around for this one. I'm happy that you guys are still with me at the end of this. I know it could be long, but I hope that you got some helpful tips out of the strategy that I use and that other course creators are using. Again, I'm going to sum everything up. Use Pinterest like a search engine. Keep consistent on Pinterest. Save time with a scheduler like Tailwind, and stay patient. Your blog is going to require patience, just like I told you in the mindset portion, the very beginning of this course. You're going to want to be patient. Give it time for your Pinterest strategy to take off. When it does, your results will show themselves in your analytics. You will see it 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. You will be shocked how much traffic you can get from Pinterest. So again, if you're following along, you should have set up your Pinterest business page, start creating pins from your first articles that you're posting. And I can't wait to hear about you guys implementing Pinterest strategies inside the private Facebook group. All right. Would love to hear you guys' feedback. Share what's working for you and not working for you inside the Facebook group. Help other members out. It will go a really, really long way for not only for yourself and your brand and your blog, to share what's working for you and share, I want you guys to be a part of the community, and it would really, really benefit the Simple Blog Method community if you guys are executing on these strategies. If you find a VA that works for you, share it with the group. Say, hey, I found a good VA here, or hey, I found a good VA that knows Tailwind really well, and they're looking for more work, and you can share that with the rest of the group to help them along. Okay, so that being said, thank you again for staying for this long Pinterest strategy. It does work. Happy blogging and happy pinning. All right. See you guys on the next video.